to start with an old poem. This is called Unreality. Shards of glass upon the floor, what was it I was looking for? Poured a drink to clear my head, drank it down, went back to bed. Mirror, mirror on the wall, tears flowing like a waterfall. Sorrows come and sorrows pass. Come inside my looking glass. The white rabbit was too late, they had closed the garden gate. One pill big and one pill small, take them both or not at all. Tweedledee and Tweedledum, the Mad Hatter was a bum. Tell me if you dare, the color of your underwear. Humpty Dumpty fell and broke green eggs and ham with yellow yolk. Tutti Frutti pudding and pie, I don't believe that I know why. Or would you, could you in a box, or would you eat them like a fox? A stammering like Porky Pig, wearing an Elvira wig. Do you know which way they went? Tell them that you raised the rent. Peter Pan and Tinker Bell were out to raise a little hell. When in glass houses throw no stones, old Mother Hubbard had no bones. Chicken Little ran helter-skelter, searching for a little shelter. The sky was falling from the air. Now that would give you quite a scare. Trap a mine inside his box. The three bears ate Goldilocks. Jack and Jill ran up that hill just to get a little thrill. Do you know in Aesop's fable, they're not on MTV cable. Tie your mind into a knot, buy plastic fruit, it will not rot. I was taught wrong from right. I think I may, I think I might. Someday I will be okay, but that day won't be today. Tomorrow might be really swell, but yesterday it was just hell.
Yes!
Okay, I haven't written hardly anything in about maybe 5 poems in 5 years. But I have a new one. And it's called Cirque du Trompe. Don't worry, only the title's in French. Bozo's in the White House, the circus came to town, and now that he's the president, they'll need another clown. His circus is a dandy, the ringmaster has a whip, and he's not afraid to use it if he's given any lip. He'll summon up his lions, tigers, and big cats to intimidate and bully all the Democrats. He'll parade his elephants up and down the mall, proclaiming each and every one is the greatest of them all. Next will come the jugglers to mystify the youth as they distort reality with fables and false truth. The trapeze artists are so good they fly without a net, for his circus is so great, the best is all you get. So high on the tightrope, he walks without a care as he tweets belligerent every thought he needs to share. You want to see it every day, its marvels will astound. His circus is a masterpiece, the grandest show around. Thank you, I am not Carter Crockett, he is the poet within me.
Great to see you again. We're going to have one more performer before we welcome up our featured reader tonight, and that is Doug Westberg. Please give him a warm welcome, everybody.
Thank you for that wonderful welcome. Woo! I haven't been here in some months because I've been working 12-hour days on Thursdays, driving a wheelchair lift van, and that was quite an experience. But glad to be back here now. This is a song I wrote for my daughter some years ago when she was flying the nest, as they say. Turn it all the way up. Sky
sleeps alone, I don't know why. There are signs for you, voice like pearls in pudding pie. Far too soon she says goodbye. Apples, so they say, never fall far from the tree. I want you to be the woman you were meant to be. So go where you must go, 'cause you don't have to follow me. You don't have to cling to me. Sarah sings to me, voice like pearls in pudding pie, silky as a mermaid's cry. Sarah, heart of snow, crumbles at the slightest touch. Angels tend to love too much. Apples, so they say, never fall far from the tree. But I want you to be the woman you were meant to be. So go where you must go, 'cause you don't have to follow me. You don't have to cling to me. You don't have to cling to me. Sarah makes her way through a world that doesn't fit, trying to make some sense of it. Sarah, starstruck child, grown-up woman all in one, bathing in the midnight sun. Apples, so they say, never fall far from the tree. But I want you to be the woman you were meant to be. 'Tis a gift to be simple, 'tis a gift to be free. You don't have to cling to me. You don't have to cling to me. You don't have to cling to me. You don't have to cling to me.
Thank you, Doug. Really great to hear from you again.
Thank you.
I've been beside myself with excitement about our guest this month. I was fortunate enough to be asked to be part of a annual event in Redmond that's called Poets in the Park, and I was just simply blown away by our guest. A 2016 Jack Straw Fellow, Artist Trust Fellow, and nominee for a Stranger Genius Award, Robert Lashley has had poems published in Feminette, Seattle Review of Books, Nailed, Grandma, and the Cascadia Review. His first full-length book, The Homeboy Songs, was published by Small Doggies Press in April 2014. His new book, Up South, was published in March of this year, and it's here for sale tonight. Please give a warm Ghost Town welcome to Robert Lashley.
Thank you so much, Chris, for those kind and austere words. This, on a completely different note, I I cannot confirm nor deny that I was stoned when this poem happened. It was outside of 7-Eleven. At 3 o'clock in the morning. And I see this old man, an elder, and he has these two, from the distance, he has these two big bags, and they're black, and they're weighing on him, and he's shaking, he looks like he's about to fall, he looks like he's about to convulse. So, you know, I get out of wherever my head's at, and I pick up my phone, and I'm about to call 911. And I go closer to the old man, and I see his beard. I have never seen a beard like this in my life. It's almost to the floor, not to the floor, but like 3 to 4 inches away. And it's white. It's blindingly white. So much that I can't even look at it. And so I just kind of come closer, and I'm like, kind of looking at him, kind of just sitting there. And it's like, and I take a look at his bags. And they're not even bags at all. They're wings. They're black, jet black, soot-covered wings. And my first thought was, oh my God, I must be really fucked up. And so I asked him, Elder, who are you? And his response to me was, my name is Icarus. I am 300 years old. This poem is called Icarus asked me for Swisher Sweets at the I Street 7-Eleven. I did not see her in flight or mourning. I did not stand her harps or trumpets or anything in my getting up day. I traded the dreams we made on the ground for my dream to be a god in the sky. It was a gilded Gethsemane. Hell is immortality without a net. Immortality is a moon that never sets after 1,000,000 Sunday suns. What was more important in the clouds to my zest for joy unseen? What unseen Lord lineated my wings and made them more important than our bloom? What made them more important than our leaps through earthbound walls and beams? What, in the light, was far more desirable than the beads of sweat in our dreams? Once we solved our scars on the ground. The fields that moved from space we tided and stole away from lashes and boundaries. Once we stilled the weevil and stole away ours and made nothing more important than our clay. Once we spun and made a world, and then I flew away. Why, boy, why should she have not kept moving? My funeral band should have been dusted. My procession better off bared and emptied in a taxonomy of heartbreak and loss. A mourner's row of upturned plots for living graves of swords and shields. Hope brought her no feathers and ruby-red fields, and memory gave her no balms. Why should she mourn me in the memory of flight when my rails meant more than her arms? Thank you very much. This next poem is a centerpiece of the book. I wanted to write a book about my neighborhood, about the complexities and the myths and folklore of the African Americans that came to the Puget Sound from the South. and how they responded in modern times. So this poem is called Elders Rage at the Water Spirit After a Shootout. Reflection on the lake is a ripple that eats, then spits out an outline of the woods. The women in black dip their old tambourines and blur away from it. The old men tie their suits into knots, then blur away from it. The people join and move their hands to deny his name in the cold. The water spirit brought us. The water spirit will not bring us home. They wash the memory of blood and ice and cry power in the darkness. The water spirit will not bring us home. Hums turn to shouts and chants rewoven and moans play and scale with the squirrel bounce. The water spirit will not bring us home. Frogs triple beat back from their hand claps. Night bugs swarm but cannot trace steps in an array of burying grounds of shadows and spirits in the water. The juba clap is the overriding veil of sirens and funeral pyres. The gunshot at night is the 11th plague, so they part this iteration of the sea. The water spirit brought us. The water spirit will not bring us home. Thank you. I like to play in seeming contrasts. This poem is called Said the Self-Taught Fresh-Out Brother to the Grandbaby He Made a Book Nook For. Your wisdom will have no clocks, love. Your strength of street knowledge will have no colors or tracks, and the Ankh won't put a price on you in a protectorate of steel. Plates to the temple, I will build to the east my church to your future beyond my past. Here is a structure rebuilt from a blood dream. My life is a structure rebuilt from my blood dream. Here, what has been undone in beams I cannot redo but make an altar for. In irons, cast in a wood marble floor, I'll erect what I tore with my Timbs. Dear, I build but don't worship me. Prayers like designs aren't translatable. They do not judge or gauge. They disappear as restitution. Their layers and codes a table you can decipher in the dust. Quadrants are fixed, but your mind is infinite. Yes, I will shut up and finish. Thank you. Yeah. I struggle with people's self-pity sometimes. I've been through a lot, and I try to be kind to people who've gone through some things, but I kind of struggle with people who've had a lot and don't do much with their lot. I had a cousin like that. He used to make fun of me when I was a little poor kid, getting bused to school, would call me an urchin. And it would kind of burn me a little bit. Last year, I was going to a convention, and I see him at the Tacoma bus stop, and he asked me for $1. And I'm like, oh, yo man, can I get a, Robert, how you doing, bro? What's up? I'm like, what's up, cuz? Like whenever I'm kind of nervous or don't know you or kind of like, or whenever I want to say leave me alone, I call somebody cuz. He was telling me his story about how he had got caught up. Oh man, I got caught up in the game, and things got happened. I did some time, and I got out. I'm trying to make it in the block, and I'm like, love you, okay? And I'm like, yo dog, you grew up next to a golf course, man. And it's like, man, you can help me out a little bit. I'm like, yo man, I gotta get this convention. Gotta be at this convention. And so this poem is called Drake's Progress. Or, well, I can't cry for my wannabe gangster cousin living on the block and feel like an asshole about it. Your final picture of him cannot lay still. Revenge in all its sophistries cannot warm your heart, and ice takes reincarnation in all forms. Bread wolves and killers make everything bedlam, and the sad boy has tears beyond tax. What is a king to a god of caught weight? What is a god to a man-boy defrocked in a paradise he imagined but never saw? In a Byzantium of bright, shiny grain-leaden picnics and fields only safe in HD screens. Poor houses are jumping from the block to the food bank, but the gilded trap boy roams in stasis. A trap debtor's prison of time and calumny, as functionless as corner spots of fluid. As spun as the spoke and lean he dreamed, but now become him like a nightmare. Masses have snatched from him all that resembles gold. Outfits, outlandish once, are now his smudged markers across the dirt of his Alabama starter jersey. Shadows that bedeviled you are in the whites of his eyes. Black guards replenish and replenish again, and the rich boy cannot leave the scene. The mountain you climbed that he tumbled toward is too dark now, and here comes the 8 bus. Thank you. This poem is after the E. Cummings poem of the same name. And it's called When God Lets My Body Be. When God lets my body be, from each rich wound shall sprout a tree of fruit that exists only for you. My rosary beads will make you a laurel of crowns, medallions, and alleyway garlands no one but us can see. My love, let me be your unknown color. Let my back beget an afro sun that turns inner deaths asunder, that recolors all my ordinary worlds into beauty from scabs of black that hold poison rivers. Then, my love, I will swim into hell and part out its ashen seas. Love, our legs are a nation of labyrinths. I want to wander with you and no thought to go home and no law greater than your conceit. My riddles and scars I will lay at your feet and alchemize into acres of orchids. Thank you. One more poem. You will be doing, if you like what you hear, you'll be doing me a tremendous favor in buying the Up South. I'm very fortunate. It is number 12 in the nation in poetry right now. I feel very, very blessed. I'm going to read one poem from the old book. I was very fortunate to have it anthologized, and it was written an anthology of poetry in the hip hop era. When I was a young man, I was asked what I wanted to be when I grew up. It was in the 3rd grade. My answer was Whitney Houston's husband. This poem is in her memory. This poem, after Audens in the memory of W.B. Yeats, is called Funeral Blues for Whitney. 1. On the day you found what we were missing, a skinny, hungry, thugged out young boy stopped dead in front of a boombox. Runs were froze. Crap games almost deserted. Hood brothers disfigured by public statutes were transformed by the sound waves of you back in the day. And you and your instrument, we young thugs agreed you were wonderful back in the day. And far from our projects, little homies dreamed you in evergreen forests. Ghetto nerds were transfixed by radio plays scattered over 1,000 stations. Scattered squared to 1,000 more affections, immediately and all at once. Immediately every time we heard you and called ourselves to be better than we were. Immediately as we dreamed to be something grand, if not grandiose, if only to win your heart. If only then we would scheme up some shit to unearth the sword from our gravel stones and win you, and live happily in your kingdom, but the magic dust ate you alive. 2, Earth, receive a troubled guest. Whitney Houston is laid to rest. Let this Newark vessel lie emptied of our dreams. For in the nightmare of the dark, all the masks we had of your majesty ate your face. All our refusals to look into your blackness have blinded and scarred our eyes, have turned to brown ash all our crystal-strewn pedestals in a parable of genius in dust. And now you hang in memory over us, Our Lady of chemical and two human sorrows, trapped eternally in a crystal cage, only free in the shadow of Sirius, only free in fleeting notes and electrons of youth, love, and limitless potential, before yours turns slow to a curse. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Robert Lashley. We're very fortunate to have readers that are willing to drive quite some distance or take transportation quite some distance to be here with us. So you can help Robert by purchasing a copy of his book. It's $15. I will help you out with that here at the front of the room. Also on the jewelry counter behind me is some information about different poetry events and things that are happening. If you'd like to know about poetry events in Portland, Southwest Washington, there's a newsletter. You can give us your email for that. And we'll be back in about 15 minutes for more open mic. Let's hear it again one more time for Robert Lashley. And Carter's just giving me some extra copies of his poem. If you'd like to have a copy of that Trump poem, it's up here as well.
Oh, great.